reasonably believe this woman had killed herself. Not possible.
I suspected that she'd been dead at least a few hours.
I want to thank all of the public. I thank you very much.
Norma Jean Mortensen, later known as Marilyn Monroe, rose from a troubled childhood to become a symbol of Hollywood glamour. Tragically, Monroe's life was cut short at the tender age of 36 in 1962, leaving behind a legacy shrouded in mystery and speculation. Could Monroe's tragic end have been prevented with better support and intervention? Watch this video until the end to find out. Marilyn Monroe, born Norma Jean Mortensen, came into the world on June 1, 1926 in Los Angeles, California. Her mother, Gladys Pearl Baker, faced challenges in her own life, including marriages to abusive men and battles with mental illness. Prior to her mother's mental health failing and putting Monroe into foster care, Monroe's early years were stable. Despite these hardships, Monroe's childhood was initially stable and content. But as a result of her mother's mental collapse, Monroe was placed under state guardianship and was given the care of Grace Goddard, her mother's friend. Born and raised in Los Angeles, she faced instability and uncertainty during her formative years. Monroe married James Dougherty, a 21-year-old LAPD police officer, on June 19, 1942. At the age of 16, in April 1944, Dougherty was deployed to the Pacific, leaving Monroe to live with her in-laws and worked at a musician's factory. There she attracted the interest of photographer David Convoy, who was taking photos of Yank magazine. He was the one who encouraged her to start modeling. Despite her husband's objections, she signed with Blue Book Model Agency and became a successful pinup model. In June 1946, she signed with an acting agency and was later given a screen test by 20th Century Fox. Despite initial skepticism, she secured a contract and adopted the stage name Marilyn Monroe.
Here was a beautiful woman, symbol of attractiveness, and she did not have a date for Saturday night.
Monroe divorced her husband in September 1946 and focused on her acting career. Although her early film roles were minor, she continued to pursue acting even after her contract with Fox was not renewed. She networked with industry insiders and eventually signed with Columbia Pictures, where she starred in her first leading role in Ladies of the Chorus, 1948. Though the film was unsuccessful, despite setbacks, Monroe remained determined to succeed as an actress. After her contract with Columbia ended, Monroe returned to modeling, shooting commercials and posing for artistic nude photographs. She became the protégée and mistress of Johnny Hyde, the vice president of the William Morris Agency.
And I said, Marilyn, please don't worry. And she would look at me and said, worry about what? That's a strange girl.
Who helped her land minor roles in films like All About Eve and The Asphalt Jungle. Hyde negotiated a 7-year contract with 20th Century Fox for Monroe, but passed away shortly after. In 1951, Monroe had supporting roles in several Fox comedies, receiving praise from critics and growing popularity with audiences. She also entered into highly publicized romance with baseball star Joe DiMaggio. In 1952, Monroe found herself in a scandal when it was revealed that she had posed for a nude calendar in 1949. However, this admission only increased public interest in her, and she continued to rise to fame, appearing on magazine covers and receiving top billing in her films. Despite being recognized as a sex symbol, Monroe aimed to demonstrate her acting range by taking on diverse roles and undergoing acting classes with Michael Chekhov, the Russian actor, and Lot Gosler, a dancer and a mime. Films like Clash by Night and Don't Bother to Knock showcased her versatility, and Monroe received positive reviews for her performances. However, her other 1952 films continued to typecast her in comedic roles, emphasizing her sex appeal.
Isn't it wonderful?
I beg your pardon?
The new non-rip plastic stockings you invented.
Oh, the N41 acetate.
Monroe's reputation for being difficult to work with emerged during this period, attributed to perfectionism, low self-esteem, and stage fright. Her dependency on acting coaches and struggles with substance abuse exacerbated these issues. Additionally, Monroe faced sexism and condescension from male co-stars and directors, leading to further challenges on set. In 1953, Marilyn Monroe starred in 3 notable films that solidified her status as a prominent sex symbol and bankable Hollywood performer. The first, Niagara, showcased Monroe as a femme fatale with her trademark makeup and sensual portrayal drawing both praise and controversy. Despite protests from women's clubs, the film was popular with audiences, highlighting Monroe's seductive appeal. Her second film of the year, Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, established her as the quintessential dumb blonde and featured her iconic performance of Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend. The film was a box office success and further propelled Monroe's fame. Monroe also made her television debut on The Jack Benny Show and starred in How to Marry a Millionaire, another hit showcasing her comedic talents. Monroe's popularity soared, earning her a spot in the top 10 money-making stars poll and solidifying her position as a leading sex symbol, exemplified by her appearance on the cover of the first issue of Playboy magazine. In 1954, Marilyn Monroe faced challenges with her contract at 20th Century Fox, where she was paid less than other stars and had limited control over her projects. When she refused a role in The Girl in Pink Tights, she was suspended, prompting her to marry Joe DiMaggio to counter negative publicity. They embarked on a brief honeymoon, including a USO tour in Korea. Monroe returned to film with River of No Return and There's No Business Like Show Business, although she disliked the latter. In 1954, she began filming The 7-Year Itch, which included the iconic scene of her standing over a subway grate. The film's success marked the end of her marriage to DiMaggio. Monroe founded her own production company, Marilyn Monroe Productions, and legally battled with Fox over her contract. She also moved to New York to study acting at the Actors Studio while continuing relationships with DiMaggio, Marlon Brando, and Arthur Miller. Monroe and Fox signed a new contract by the end of the year, granting her more control over her career. In 1956, Marilyn Monroe won a legal battle against 20th Century Fox, solidifying her image as a shrewd businesswoman. She married playwright Arthur Miller and converted to Judaism, which attracted media attention. Afterward, Monroe returned to Hollywood for Some Like It Hot, a successful comedy that showcased her comedic timing and earned her another Golden Globe. Her roles in timeless classics such as The 7-Year Itch showcased her captivating beauty and charm, endearing her to audiences worldwide. Now, what part of her career do you think led to her downfall? Let us know down in the comments section below. After Some Like It Hot, Monroe took a break until late 1959 when she starred in Let's Make It Love. She chose George Cukor to direct, but was dissatisfied with the script. Despite her frequent absences from the set, the film's production was delayed. During filming, Monroe had an affair with co-star Yves Montand, garnering significant press attention. However, Let's Make Love was not successful upon its release in September 1960. Truman Capote lobbied for Monroe to play Holly Gottlieb in Breakfast at Tiffany's, but the role ultimately went to Audrey Hepburn. Monroe played a recently divorced woman in John Hudson's The Misfits, her last finished film. The filming was challenging and Monroe's health was deteriorating. Her marriage to Arthur Miller ended during production, and she obtained a Mexican divorce in January 1961. The Misfits was released in the following month, but failed at the box office, receiving mixed reviews. Monroe's next project, a television adaptation of W. Somerset Maugham's Reign, fell through, leading to health problems and hospitalizations. In 1961, she briefly rekindled her relationship with Joe DiMaggio and dated Frank Sinatra. Monroe returned to California and purchased a house in Brentwood in early 1962. Despite her struggles, she received a Golden Globe Award and began filming Something's Gotta Give for Fox. However, due to illness and conflicts with the studio, she was fired in June 1962, sparking a public controversy. Fox later regretted the decision and reopened negotiations with Monroe, leading to a settlement and plans for future projects, including a biopic of Jean Harlow. Monroe also engaged in publicity ventures to repair her public image, including interviews and her first photo shoot for Vogue, published posthumously as The Last Sitting. Monroe resided at 12305 5th Helena Drive in Los Angeles in her final months. On August 5, 1962, her housekeeper Eunice Murray discovered her dead in her bed. The news of Marilyn Monroe's sudden death on August 5, 1962 left the world in shock. Just before her 36th birthday, Monroe tragically passed away in her Brentwood home in Los Angeles, California, United States. Rumors of personal struggles and emotional turmoil dogged Monroe in the days before her death. Reports emerged of her battles with substance abuse and the challenges of fame, tarnishing her once bright image. When Monroe was found lifeless, Monroe psychiatrist Ralph Greenson and physician Hyman Engelberg were called, and the Los Angeles Police Department was notified. The cause of death was acute barbiturate poisoning, with toxicology reports revealing high levels of chloral hydrate and pentobarbital in her system. Despite the sadness and disbelief, questions remained: was it a tragic accident or something more sinister? Conspiracy theories surrounding her death have persisted, but official investigations have found no evidence of foul play. Monroe was interred at the Westwood Village Memorial Park Cemetery in Los Angeles. Following her death, Monroe's iconic presence lived on through her timeless films and lasting legacies. Albums like Marilyn Monroe, The Essential Recordings, and Marilyn Monroe, Her Greatest Hits, were poignant reminders of her talent and charm. However, amidst the tributes and accolades, the question remains, could Monroe have been saved with timely help and support? Monroe's legacy endures as fans reflect on what-ifs, showcasing the lasting impact of a captivating star whose light dimmed too soon. This is the story of the iconic Marilyn Monroe's death. Please let us know down in the comment section below if you have another celebrity's death story we should cover. Also, give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends and subscribe to this channel to receive updates whenever new videos are added.